She was laughing again. That sound used to be the rhythm of my world. That deep, effortless laugh that made strangers smile without even knowing why. But tonight it hit different. It came from across the room, from her side of the office party, surrounded by faces I barely recognized. I stood by the bar, drink in hand, pretending to check my phone, pretending I wasn't counting how many times she brushed that guy's arm when she spoke. Her name's Emma. 7 years together. 4 as husband and wife. I once thought I knew every shade of her laughter. The shy one, the forced one, the real one that used to belong only to me. But this one was new. Unburdened. Almost flirtatious. And for the first time, I felt the space between us, wide and silent. It's strange how love fades. It doesn't explode. It erodes. It hides in the pauses between messages, in the quiet goodnight, in the way "love you" starts sounding like a habit instead of a heartbeat. I'd felt it for months. Her distance, the later nights, the unanswered texts, the easy excuses. But I didn't confront her. I just started watching, quietly, carefully, as if she were already someone else. That night after the party, she was still glowing from attention. She talked about her office like I was a friend, not a husband. I smiled, listened, even told her I was proud of how much she'd grown. But something inside me settled that night, a stillness I couldn't ignore. Maybe it was realizing she didn't really see me anymore. Or maybe it was the quiet ache of knowing I'd already lost her. The next morning, I watched her get ready for work. She hummed an old tune while fixing her hair, the same one she played when she first moved into my place. I remembered how she used to look at me then like I was everything she was building toward. And I wondered, when did I stop being that? I'd been preparing for weeks. Not out of anger, not to hurt her, just to end the pretending. 2 nights before, I took off my wedding ring. Held it in my palm for a long time. It felt heavier now, not like commitment, but memory. A relic of promises that no longer belonged to us. The day she went to work, I wrote a note. Just a few lines. No drama, no blame. You don't have to say it. I already know. I loved you enough to let you go the moment you stopped trying to love me back. Take care of yourself, Emma. Daniel. I slipped it into her jewelry box, beneath the watch I gave her on our 2nd anniversary, the one she'd stopped wearing. I left my ring beside it, packed a single bag, and drove to my brother's cabin a few towns over. That evening, she texted. A photo, my ring in her hand, the note beside it. No words. I didn't reply. She didn't call that night or the next. But on the 3rd night, at 11:42 p.m., my phone lit up. Daniel, can we talk? I stared at it for a long time. I didn't hate her. Didn't even blame her fully. Love doesn't die in a single moment. It fades from neglect, from 2 people quietly deciding to stop trying. And as I read her message, I felt something unexpected.
Peace.
She called once.
Twice.
I didn't answer. The next morning came a flood of messages, confusion, anger, regret, apology. And finally, why would you leave like this? We could have fixed it. But you can't fix something that's already been replaced by silence. She came 2 days later. I saw the white sedan long before she knocked, headlights cutting through the morning fog. For a second, I thought about letting her knock and leave. But I knew I owed her one last conversation. She stood there, eyes red but steady, my note trembling in her hand. Can we talk? She whispered. I stepped aside. The cabin smelled of coffee and cedar. She sat on the couch, fidgeting. And for the first time in years, there was nothing left to say. She fidgeted, that restless kind of movement people make when they don't know how to begin. You just left, she said finally, her voice trembling. No goodbye, no call, just a note and a ring. I leaned against the counter, arms folded. What would a goodbye have changed? That's not fair, Daniel. Neither was the way you stopped talking to me months ago, I said quietly. The way you laughed more with your coworkers than with me. The way I became background noise in my own marriage. She flinched, eyes falling to her hands. It wasn't like that. Then what was it? She hesitated, searching for words. I don't know. Work got busy. I got lost. You stopped trying, too. I nodded. Maybe I did. But I never stopped loving you. I was just waiting for you to notice me again. The silence that followed was heavy, unkind. Her eyes drifted around the cabin, the half-open bag, the mug by the sink. So this is it? You're just done. I was done the moment you read that note, I said. It wasn't about leaving you, Emma. It was about leaving behind the version of us that stopped existing. Her eyes filled with tears. I don't want to lose you. You already did, I whispered. She began to cry, not the loud kind, but the quiet, aching sort that comes when the truth finally settles in. I didn't move to hold her. I wanted to, but I knew if I did, everything would unravel again. Sometimes love means walking away, even when every part of you wants to stay. After a long silence, she stood, wiping her face. I don't know how we got here, she said softly. I do, I replied. We stopped being honest when it mattered most. We kept pretending until pretending was all we knew how to do. She looked at me for a long moment, like she was memorizing my face. Then she set the ring down on the coffee table beside my note. You wrote that you loved me enough to let me go, she said. So, I guess this is me letting you go, too. She left quietly, no slam, no plea, just the soft click of the door. I stood there for a while, staring at the ring. Funny how something so small can carry so much history. The next few days felt strange. The silence wasn't lonely anymore. It was clean, like the air after a storm. Mornings by the lake, evenings by the fire. I thought about our years together, the laughter, the trips, even the small arguments. And then I understood something it took me years to see. Love doesn't always end because it was false. Sometimes it ends because one person grows tired of fighting for two. Weeks passed. She sent one last message. I hope you're okay. I miss us. I read it twice, then set my phone down. I didn't reply, not out of anger, but because for once I didn't need to. That night, as the sun dipped behind the trees, I took my ring and her note and placed them in a small box. I buried it by the edge of the lake, a quiet farewell, not to her, but to the version of me that thought love meant holding on, no matter the cost. When I walked back to the cabin, I felt lighter. Because sometimes the most powerful words aren't the ones you say, they're the ones you finally stop needing to explain. And somewhere far away, I hoped she was laughing again. Not at an office party this time, but with someone who finally saw her the way I once did.